thicker people,
They can take more damage.
they can take more
Yeah,
hits.
because
So
you're not actually hitting their muscle. You're hitting the
Exactly.
chunk in front of it.
Exactly.
That's why it's okay to have a dad bod.
Yeah.
You can take more damage.
Well, dad bods save lives.
I mean, it's 100%
Dad
proven.
bods are
I can't take a
better,
bullet,
so.
but I can take a punch.
Did you know there?
No, you can take a bullet.
Yeah, it's still going through. The bullet's not stopping.
I mean, yeah, it's not going to stop
Right.
regardless. It's
Right.
it's a
There,
bullet.
there was a Russian power lifter, right? He was a big, thick guy.
Yeah.
Right? And he had abs. He had somebody stab him because he thought his abs were, knife proof.
Well, everybody, if
How
you
did
can-
that work?
If
Yeah,
you
he
can
was
hear us,
hospital.
Yeah, I bet
if
he
you can
did.
hear us, we're live, and we've been live for a few minutes here. I always cut that
Every
off
week,
here,
man. Every
so-
week.
Yeah, I want to welcome everybody to another episode of All in a Day's Work. I'm Trip, and that's Lucas.
You guys
Today-
know. You guys know.
Today we got a special guest there with us, our buddy Ryan, aka Franny. We always call him Franny because he's a good guy. He just, you know how guys are. We always got nicknames for each other. So if you can hear us, if we're coming in clear, please let us know on the comments. If you can see us and there's no issues, please let us know.
That's right.
Because
That's right.
as usual, we be fucking this shit up, so we want to fix it for y'all if it's wrong. So
I mean, we had help setting it up today, so we should be good.
yeah, you know what? Our producer is actually here to help us out for once.
So shout outs to the producer.
Just kidding, y'all. Yeah, shout out to Kate. She hooked us up and made sure stuff was kind of ready by the time we got here.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Kate, for helping us out. But again, everybody, welcome to another episode of All in a Day's Work.
So,
Why don't we just get started? Get
Yeah.
right into
So,
this, man.
Franny.
Mr. Franny.
how you doing today?
Super great.
You not nervous?
Make sure you're speaking to the mic, man. I know it's your first time.
Super great.
All right. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Mr. Franny. So I see you got the military shirt on, service member, right?
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. So,
Are you nervous?
No.
yeah.
It's all good. It's all good. So, all right. So, real quick, for those of you who don't know who this guy is, his name is Ryan Franny, or Franzel. Name is Ryan. He served in the military. He actually just recently got out of the military. This time last year, he was serving in Jordan. Right?
Yeah, Jordan.
So he was in his last tour was in Jordan. You're don't let me fuck this up. A Calf Scout?
I don't know. What are the cross sabers?
Oh no, man!
Right,
I'm
right.
an engineer. The only branch that matters. I mean, sorry.
Hey.
But no, for real. So he's a Calf Scout.
MPs matter, bro.
Yeah, sure.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Okay.
You matter. That's
Anyways.
what's important.
You do matter. You do matter.
As does everybody else, so don't forget that.
Absolutely, you do matter. So he's a Calf Scout. Spent how long were you in the military for?
4 years.
4 years.
Yeah.
All of it reserve.
It was
Time or-
joined National Guard when I was 26 years old, and then I was supposed to only do 3 years, but the deployment came up in Jordan, and I couldn't help but jump on it.
So it was only the one tour?
Yeah, that was it.
Went to Jordan. Where else did you guys go? Was it just Jordan, or did you guys?
Well, so I mean, the only spot we were in was Jordan. We headed toward Syria, and a few parts of my unit went up to Syria to do little ops and whatnot, but that was it.
How was Jordan?
It was very cush.
Really?
I mean, so the king designed a base, the king of Jordan, of course. He designed a base just for us, and it was the most amazing accommodations. I did
Okay.
not touch the dirt. Like when I was sleeping, we had 2-man bedrooms. We had AC. We had tile floor. It was not
So
bad.
it sounds like a little vacation.
Yeah, I mean, I understood what it felt like to be Air Force.
So it was like the one-in-one apartments, right?
Yeah.
Where it's got 2 rooms and then the kitchen attached to it.
No, not like that.
He was in Jordan, man.
Yeah,
I mean,
we had
I had that in Korea. So
we
that's
had
what I'm
like
wondering.
2-man rooms, so like we had wall lockers to divide us, and then like my buddy and me,
gotcha.
and it was just, and then we had like an outstanding defect that no matter what holiday it was or what was going on, they just gave us the best treatment possible.
nice,
Yeah,
very
it was
nice.
not like what you'd think a deployment was,
And,
but
and
it
you
was.
did the full 12 months for the deployment.
We were there for 9 months.
Okay.
Yeah,
9
but we
months
did.
tour.
I mean, we did the pre-mob, we did the out processing, which so in total was like 11 months.
Oh,
but
gotcha.
So
in
for-
country was
for-
9 months.
For those of you who don't know, before you go on any deployment, you have to pretty much train up, and then you pretty much set yourself aside from the regular unit, and get yourself prepared, just focusing on the deployment factors. That's what he's talking about. And then going to get your gear and all that shenanigans prior to
RFI and great stuff.
and
Yeah,
all that,
yeah.
that fun stuff, mandatory classes, and all that stuff that you have to do. So you were reserve, right?
I was guard,
National
actually.
Guard.
National
okay.
Guard.
So
Yeah.
Washington State National Guard.
Yep.
4
Weekend
years,
warrior.
4 years, all guard time with the one tour. in
Correct.
Jordan.
Yes.
So, other than it being a pretty much a cush tour, let's back up. Let's wind back. So, you joined the National Guard at 26.
Correct. Yeah.
You were in for 4 years, so you're 30 now, 31?
32.
32, okay, so
Yeah.
my timeline's a little off.
It's okay.
So you joined the National Guard. Let's see, what prompted you to join the military? Or let's back up even further. Tell us a little bit just about yourself. Who are you? Who is Ryan?
Where
to the
are you
world?
from?
And also for those of you who don't know, Ryan here is an official part of the All in a Day's Work team.
Yep.
We've been talking with him. He works with us, so we've been talking with him about the podcast and the organization itself, and wanted to bring him on board to help us out. So he and his wife are going to be helping us with revamping and keeping our YouTube page up to date,
Making it
and
pretty.
current, and making it look pretty.
So if it's still messed up, you guys know who to direct all the hate to.
That's right, Ryan.
Hey.
As of today, Ryan is officially taken over the YouTube portion. So that's going to be his baby. So yeah, we're welcoming him to the All in a Day's Work team. He also helps us out with the posts and stuff like that, and the messages you guys send us. Even though some of y'all send us some weird ass messages, but
Yeah.
he sees them. He helps us out keeping this thing rolling. So
That's right.
another good shout out to you, Ryan. Man, thank you for the help that you have contributed so
Man,
far.
I'm happy to help where I can.
Yeah, and I'm thankful that we have somebody that kind of knows YouTube
Yeah,
and that
facts.
can actually fix it, because other than Facebook and Spotify and all the other stuff, it's kind of hard for just the three of us to deal with. So I think an extra set of hands to just focus on
Yeah,
that department is going to be nice.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't understand YouTube. Their policies don't make sense to me. How they go about like censoring videos makes no sense to me. But
Well, I mean, it's all
it is what
about
it is.
following their political standpoint. You know what I mean? So
yeah, and that doesn't make sense because that changes all the time. So
I mean, yeah, it does.
Yeah,
But-
we definitely learned. Me and my wife learned the do's and don'ts, mainly don'ts of YouTube, and so we'll do our best to make it pretty.
hey,
You know,
absolutely.
we appreciate it, man. We really do.
Any help is appreciated.
Absolutely,
So,
absolutely.
so yeah, let's talk about you, man. This is our first time actually doing a live interview with somebody of another veteran. We want to get to know you. We want the people to get to know you, and like I talked to them about before, the idea of this is to get veteran stories out there.
right?
Because we all have a story, regardless of whether it's a short story, a 4-year term, a 20-year career, or whatever. We want to get that story out there, because at the end of the day, we have an all-volunteer military.
Yeah,
Every single man and woman who serve volunteered to serve. Nobody was forced by their fucking hands to
no,
serve.
there isn't a draft
And-
anymore. It's all up to you to make the
and
choice.
That means something. The fact that you got off your ass, whether it was at 18, 17, or 26, you got off your ass to serve this country for whatever that reason was. So I want to kind of dial it back and let's let the people know your story.
What do you want to know about me?
So
man?
where you come from, man? Like
Yeah.
just
Born and raised in
I
this
know
great
I don't want
state.
this to feel like we're just asking questions you answer. We ask questions. The idea is just for us to have a nice fluid conversation,
right.
Yeah.
and just wherever it goes, it goes.
I got you.
know? So
So-
let's talk about Ryan. What was it like as a kid? Where you from?
Well,
What
I was
home
I was
like?
born in Port Angeles, Washington, and I lived
I
there
feel sorry for
for.
you, bro. I'm sorry.
Bro, hey, I only lived there like I don't know 6-7
Yeah.
months, and then we moved to Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, where I lived another.
What's wrong? Wait, what's wrong with Port Angeles?
Hey, support of the Angels.
I don't know anything about.
Why are you
Port
pointing at me?
I don't know anything about Port Angeles.
I
so.
don't know. I'm just talking shit, man. That's what I
So,
do.
hey, to the one viewer that's watching us, well, I guess they just disappeared. Shit. I was going to ask some questions. I was
Well, hey, you
going to
know,
ask the question if they could hear us fine, but I guess they just
on.
decided to
It's
fuck
okay.
off.
let me fix that.
No, it's all good. No, it's all good. So, anyways, you were born in Port
I
Angeles.
was born in Port Angeles, and then I was adopted by Rita and Jim, my adoptive parents, I guess you could say. And so they lived in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. And so I grew up, or not, excuse me, I didn't grow up. I lived the first like 6 to 7 months of my life in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. Obviously, I don't remember shit. I have like one vivid memory of my sister taking over the pool, but you know.
So you were born in Port Angeles.
Yeah.
And you were adopted from birth, or
as created, I was adopted. Yeah, I came straight out into their arms, so it wasn't like a foster or nothing. I was. They had it all planned out and everything.
Okay, so it's planned that way.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
And then Rita and Jim, they lived in Coeur d'Alene for, like I said, 6 to 7 months of my life, maybe 8. And then we moved up to Alaska, and I lived in Alaska till I was about 10 to 11. And then
Alaska.
Yeah, Sitka, Alaska, bro.
So what's that like?
Amazing.
What part of Alaska?
Really?
Sitka, Southeast Alaska. Oh, it's the best.
Southeast Alaska.
It's
I don't know.
amazing there, dude.
The only thing I know about Alaska is they got moose the size of a fucking tank over there.
Yeah.
that will
Oh, dude,
trample you.
I got stories
It's
of
cold
like
as fuck,
I'm
and-
laying in my bed and a bear is looking through my window like.
Man,
See,
I ain't
yeah,
fucking
dude.
with all
Everybody
that,
I've
man.
ever met that has been in Alaska or either from there loves it and
Yeah, I
always
mean,
goes
it's
back.
amazing.
I've heard Alaska is like the Texas, but like all the way over there.
It's the nice Texas.
It's the nice Texas.
It's like
yeah.
I mean,
Not
by the
that
time I
Texas
grew
isn't nice,
up,
but
everybody knew each other by name. Like you go to the store, you'd be like, "Hey," you know them all.
and everybody has guns.
Everybody has guns. Yes, we definitely.
I
have
think
a
I
lot
want
of
to go to
firearms in the
Alaska
household.
I
now.
mean,
I mean,
I'm not opposed to it, but I don't do that code
Yeah, I
shit.
don't either.
Hey, man, if you're a resident of Alaska, you get paid like a certain amount of money every month just
Probably
to be
because
there.
it's so
Oh,
fucking
really?
cold, huh?
Yeah, no, oil money.
Oh, oil money, or because they're freezing their asses
Yes, or
off
because
all
you
the
have to
time,
buy extra parkas.
And so,
I lived in an
is
igloo.
it true?
Really?
No, real talk though. So
Alright.
it's true. Like certain parts of the year, you get like nothing but sun, nothing but dark.
What was it, like 30 days a night or like 30 days of sunlight? So there was one, it doesn't happen every year, all right, but there was one year of my life that I remember. It was, I mean, I don't have the grasp on time because I'm older and I was really young, but it was a long period of time of nothing but sunlight. And it wasn't warm sunlight. It was still cold
Yeah,
because
so
it's
stone
Alaska.
cold, but you got
I mean,
the sun.
as
like,
being living there for so long, you're acclimated. So we're still swimming in the ocean, which is 30-degree weather.
nah.
Yeah, dude, it's totally different when you're acclimated to that kind of
fucking
lifestyle.
icebergs and shit.
No, well, the Titanic went down right in front of us, but that iceberg was irrelevant.
Nah, I ain't fucking with that. Man.
It was cool,
You talk about
though.
30 degrees and going in the water.
Yeah,
Fuck.
nah.
I mean, it was a cool place to live because you don't see cities, you don't see. I mean, you see towns, but you don't have like
Yeah.
skyscrapers or anything. It's just
Oh,
trees
and I
and
hear,
wilderness.
Dude, I hear it's fucking beautiful
nice
out there.
Oh
It's
yeah.
beautiful. The wildlife alone, like even though like everything wants to kill you, from what I hear, it's like.
I mean, it's
really-
not
Well,
Australia, so
90% of stuff wants to kill you. You got a good grace period where
So
you
you
can
seen-
still survive.
You
and
seen
be
some
all right.
moose?
I've definitely seen moose, elk, bears.
So, like, is it true like they're like super aggressive out there, or because they pretty much just leave you alone as long as you don't fuck with them?
It depends. What are you talking about? The moose?
Yeah, the moose.
If they're in your neighborhood, like if they walk up in your driveway, they're not too aggressive because they're not stupid.
They're out of their element.
Yeah, they know, they're aware that is your territory, so they're not going to like come up on you. But now if you're out on a hike and you go and encounter a moose, you're going to most likely have a little bit more of a behavioral problem.
right, because you're in their territory.
Yeah,
kind of
exactly.
thing. I mean, that makes sense. So, one thing I've always wondered and had been curious about is, do people do they hunt and eat moose?
Yeah, dude.
Is it so? It's like moose burgers.
You ever had a bear burger before?
No, I've never had bear. I've never had moose. I've had like deer meat like one time, but like moose, I never heard like I don't know, never heard of like a moose burger or nothing like
I mean-
that. Or moose steak.
No,
Why
so
not?
The cool thing about living in Alaska, it's not like you have to hunt because there's okay. So in Sitka there were 2 marts. There was like Lakeside Grocery and C Mart.
Yeah.
And the majority of the time, my dad would go out and he would hunt for mainly deer because you don't want to go after the moose as much just because they are still, a little bit more majestic than a deer. Or a bear.
Right,
So
right,
we'd
right.
have bear and deer a lot of the time. And
Bear.
What does bear taste like?
Grizzly.
I heard
Really?
it's gristly. I heard it's gristly and it's greasy.
it's gristly and it's very greasy. Yeah, at our beach house up Copalis, Washington, we still have the bear rug or the bear skin that my dad shot
back when we lived in.
You have a rug? There's a rug made out of bear? Does it have the head and everything?
Oh god, it's got
that's
glass
kinda
eyes,
cool.
It's got the teeth.
Oh,
That's
that is
cool.
awesome.
That shit would scare the hell out of me though. If I was a kid and I walked in,
No, it'd be
a
sitting on the
fucking
ground
bear.
and it would, oh man, I would.
That's
that'd
kind of
be
cool.
great.
That's kind of cool. So,
That is really cool.
so you've eaten bear, you've eaten deer, but you haven't eaten moose.
I have eaten moose.
Oh,
I've
you
had
have.
moose.
What
I've
does
had
that?
elk.
What does that taste like? 'Cause I mean, I've never been hunting, so
So
like,
moose is a lot like elk. It's real meaty, you know.
Oh,
Have you had elk?
no.
Okay.
I've had. I think I've had like little chopped up pieces of deer with like, I don't know, like.
You should grab yourself an elk burger. It's
Where the
very
fuck?
tasty.
Where do I get an elk burger from? I've been to so many restaurants that I don't see elk on the
We
menu.
went
So
somewhere nearby, like somewhere in the local area here. I don't remember where we went. We got.
do you have some stored up in the freezer or something
No,
like
I
that?
don't.
Oh, okay. Do you? I don't know.
Since I've
So
been back
you're not an active hunter or nothing like that.
Not
right?
here. No.
Okay.
I went hunting once here, and I didn't have the buttstock all the way against my shoulder, and the scope went through my forehead.
Ooh.
Nice.
So-
What
Nice.
were you
Yeah.
shooting? What were you shooting?
It was just a 30-aught.
God
And,
damn.
Yeah, was trying to impress my now wife. Was shooting and
Hey, Rupert says
How
hey,
did that work?
Rupert wants to know why Westfall's beard looks better than Franny's.
because look at that, it's the right product.
He's finally getting that majestic going on there.
You know, I do what I can.
Hey, Miss Mainwright, nice to see you. Hello. So you had the scope go through your forehead. You were shooting once, and
broke my
What?
Oakleys in half. And everything.
I
how old
mean,
were you when you did that?
This
Were
was
you gonna say
like August
25?
yeah. I mean,
27.
so I mean, it must have worked out pretty well. They're married now, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, she didn't, you know.
She didn't laugh at
She
you.
suck at shooting. But
Is she a better shooter than you?
no, she's got a little bit worse vision than I do.
You sure about that?
Yeah.
Pretty sure about that.
I don't know. I heard she shot Tupac, man.
She did. Yeah, she did shoot Tupac, bro. She a gangster, bro. She thug as hell.
You can shoot good at close range, right?
Ooh.
So if y'all were wondering who shot Tupac, we know who's. So, all right. So you grew up in Alaska as a kid. You said it was about 10, 11 years old or something like that.
I moved out of Alaska into Washington D.C. That's where
D.C.?
it's kind of problem.
Jesus Christ! So you bounced around a lot.
Yeah, it was
so
definitely.
let's see,
changed.
D.C. Let me guess around. What year was that? 2001, 2000. I'm testing the old man's memory. all of a
Hang
sudden.
on, man. Hang on. It'll come to me. It was. Okay, so 9/11. That was the year I moved.
Oh,
there.
nice.
2001.
Yeah. I
Damn.
was there in 2001. You guys remember the sniper incident from the van?
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
ran around DC? Okay,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I can't remember which one came first.
What was that like 2000? No,
I think that was 2000. Or was that
the
2002?
sniper.
Yeah.
No, the sniper. I thought that was way after.
I only lived there 2 years. It couldn't have been.
Okay. I thought that was after.
Okay, so that was after.
I don't know. I just remember hearing about
So
it.
I don't
moved there
remember.
the first year, and it was the year of 9/11, and I
Damn.
had
How was that? Like,
That
so you're a
was-
kid, right?
Yeah.
So you're about what 11,
I had
10,
no
11
idea
years
what was
old.
going on. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was in
The whole world stopped
I
for
remember
that,
I was in
man.
lunch, and I actually went to school with Rudy Giuliani's nephew, Stephen Giuliani.
Really?
And when it hit, when the thing happened, all these parents came in, and then teachers came in, and then there were two dudes in suit that grabbed Stephen when he was at my table.
Did you go
with
to a
lunch.
private school?
No, just Robert Frost Middle School, public school.
Wow.
But, you know, I mean, like I said, it's his nephew, so they're not probably, like, all plushed up
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes sense.
But
yeah.
that happened, and then we're like, I don't know what happened. So we go up to the classroom, and the teacher's just sitting there with the TV on, and
Yeah.
watching what just happened. We're like, I couldn't even comprehend, you know, at that young
Yeah.
age that
Yeah.
somebody just blew up, you know.
Mhm.
Where were you on 9/11?
So did that impact your decision to go into the military at all?
Well, see, I wanted to join the military ever since I was a little kid. I thought Army dudes were awesome.
Mm.
You know, the camo rifles, the
Hey.
blowing it up.
You can slow down when you're speaking, man. You don't have to
Oh,
spit it all out real quick. Just relax, man. Relax. We're just having a conversation, and
He needs
Like I
needs
said,
another
just-
I
drink.
have
probably-
a lot of information. There's like
I
a
know,
lot
I know, right? And he's just like, I gotta say this, man. Just relax, man. We're just having a candid
Boomhauer
conversation,
over
man.
here.
Fucking radio. So, all right. So you're processing 9/11. as a kid.
Yeah.
In school, I remember I was at my grandma's house when 9/11 happened.
Were you 5?
No, I was 10. I was in 4th or 5th grade. 5th grade, I think it was 2001. I was 10. Yeah, I was in 5th grade, and I was at my grandma's house. So I was actually here in Washington. Yeah, was something funny? What's up? Is Jackie talking shit?
No.
What's she talking about?
No.
I know she talking shit.
No, she nothing. Anyway.
Nothing. Oh, she nothing over here cheesing ass. For those of y'all who don't know, Jackie over here with Lucas, Jackie and Lucas sitting in the truck.
Anyway, so Franny. Franny.
Yeah, I was at my grandma's house, and I remember. So we used to go to my grandma's house in the morning before my mom would drop us off at like 4:35 in the morning, and she'd go to work. So we would go to my grandma's house, eat our cereal, watch I Love Lucy, Charles in Charge, cartoons, and then go to school. Right? Yeah, it was Nick at Night. It was a different time. We was in the early,
That's right. Nick and Night was
late 90s, early 2000s. We still, yeah. So, in the time difference, so it was early as hell in the morning. I remember this. I'm sitting there eating my cornflakes, and we're watching I Love Lucy. I remember it was I Love Lucy, and all of a sudden the TV just cuts off. And we're like, what the fuck? Me and my sister were like,
where'd Lucy go?
yeah, like, what happened? And then, like, the news just cuts on. And I'm like, what in the hell is going on? It's like breaking news, stand by or whatever. And I'm like, well, this is weird. And then I hear the phone ring. And my grandma answers the phone. It was one of her relatives. And she, all I hear is her say, oh, shit! Jam! She's always screaming for my granddaddy. He wasn't even there. He was already at work.
Yeah.
My grandma, she old, so she's screaming in the room. I'm like, what the? I'm freaking out. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And so she's like, get your asses in here. So me and my sister rush into my grandma's room. She sits us down, makes us watch the news, figure out what's going on. And I'm scared as fuck because my granddad had just started working for U.S. Customs and stuff at the border. Was it Bellingham area?
Up towards Canada?
Yeah, up towards Canada and stuff. So we're kind of worried. Granddad's up there. We call him Papa. So he's up there at the border, and there's no cell phones and shit like that. It's like we didn't just have. What's so funny? Why are you looking at me
What?
like that?
I'm listening to you.
No, man, you're looking at your phone. She's saying something to you, and then you're looking at me all goofy. So like, I'm over here trying to tell a fucking story and shit, and you're over here goofy eyeing me. Well, no, what's going on? Please,
cool,
please. Obviously, what's going on over there is more.
No, I'm listening to you. Tell your fucking story, man.
You wasn't listening.
I was listening.
Why you cheesing?
What? I can't smile?
I know you, so I know what's something going through your head right now. No. Yeah, Jackie, hit me up on here because something ain't going on right. Anyway. Joylyn, we ain't social distancing because ain't no COVID. It's because we don't want the mics too close. If the mics are too close, then we get
somebody say something about
echo.
social distancing.
She asked why the hell we're social distancing.
Oh, you guys want to share the same mic?
No,
I mean,
this one's right in the middle.
Shut up. Anyways, no. So I was. Well, I don't even remember what the hell
you was talking about your grandparents and stuff.
Distracted me and shit.
Yeah,
Papa's at work, and you know what? Forget it. Jacqueline, you don't fuck this up, man.
Christ,
I'm at grandma's house eating cornflakes, watching I Love Lucy. The towers get hit. I'm fucked up as a kid because I don't know what the hell's going on. I go to school because school's still happening for some reason, and all we did all day in school was pretty much lock down.
Yeah.
We locked down. I remember we locked down, and all we did all day was watch the news.
Out here too.
Yeah, because there were threats coming in because we had especially not only that, but in the town I live in, it's a major naval air station, and there was intel coming in that they were coming to the north, to the northwest and stuff like that, and they were going to hit all the major cities. That's what was coming in, so they were locking down everything. So there's two major naval bases in the town that I lived in Oak Harbor. Naval Air Station, and then you have the seaplane base there, which is, conjunction with that. So they were locking shit down. And we got to school, they locked us down, and we literally sat there all day and watched the news. Didn't do anything else, watched the news. And it was one of the strangest things for me as a kid. Like, we're in school, we're just watching TV all day, Like, yeah, we had to really process what, happened, which is... Not when you're 10 years old.
No, not at all.
You know what I mean? So I get what you're saying. Like, you don't know what was going on. Like, but it's something I do remember.
Yeah.
And it's a pretty I think that other than like my father dying, when we were in a car crash when I was 5 going to Disneyland, would probably be the most like second most vivid memory or earliest vivid memory that I can remember. Something that's pretty traumatic.
Right.
You know what I mean? Which that kind of touched everybody that was around during that time. You know what I mean? So like even I think from that point, even though I wasn't old enough, I'm 10 years old. I kind of knew like I'm probably gonna join the military. And I think that goes into like your question was that what like kind of what led up and prompted
That
you?
definitely was like the push, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, even at
when
that
I was 18.
even around that same age.
Yeah, I mean, it just made it more so, you know. Like I always wanted, and I respect what they did, and I wanted to do it someday growing up.
Did you grow so like your parents that adopted you, were they military at all or so?
No, not at all. I mean, my grandfather on my adopted dad's side, he was Air Force around the Pearl Harbor time. He didn't get sent up or anything, but it's the fact that he still joined up and he was ready to go, but his flight unit didn't get called up at all. So
Yeah.
yeah, but still, that's just more reason for me to have done it when I grew up, you know.
No, that makes sense. Makes sense.
Back to what you were talking about. So you grew up. You're in DC now. You're processing 9/11. Tell me about growing up in DC. What's that like?
I don't like the East Coast very much.
No?
It's humid. No, man. It's humid. Like, I mean, the people there are cool and everything. It's just that weather. Like, when you go
I love that weather.
It's summer and
I
your
don't know,
windows
man.
are wet midday.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, trust me, man. I'm little in Louisiana, baby. I know exactly what you're
I
talking
came from
about,
Alaska.
man.
That's not a thing that you do there.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
I went home like 2 years ago, or a year and a half ago, right? And I was working outside putting up a fence. It was summertime, drenched in sweat, go inside, change my shirt. It starts raining. I'm outside in a new shirt in the rain.
From sweating.
No,
Just-
this is in the rain,
Oh, okay,
right?
yeah,
This is in the
but-
rain, so I'm soaking wet because we got to get this fence up. It stops raining about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Go back in, change into another shirt.
And I
Go
bet
back
it
out
was
there. The
hot
sun
as
comes
hell.
back
I bet it
out,
was-
and then I drench through a whole nother shirt. Yeah, and I love that weather.
Oh no! But I mean, you do keep it like 90 degrees in your apartment during the summertime.
You are like a
Yeah,
blizzard.
yeah, I do. My heat's on right now at 80 degrees. in
You're
my
hot.
apartment.
I don't know. I'm fucking like I got the windows open right now and I'm cooking.
See, I don't know.
I don't know how the hell you do that.
I wear sweats and a long sleeve shirt and still on the blankets in my apartment.
Nah, bro. I would literally be sweating myself to death, and I couldn't do it.
See, I have to turn the heat down when I work out because I don't want to sweat too much.
Right, because that's
But-
too much sweating.
Yeah, but other than that, I'm fine.
So you don't mind to sweat that much when you don't want to sweat that much when you're working out.
Yeah.
No, you don't
But
Yeah, because there's nobody in
Everything
my
else.
apartment to like, trying to impress with my glisten, my glow.
oh god, I bet Jackie would like to watch you work out.
But she ain't in my apartment, so it's all good.
Yeah, FaceTime. There you go.
See,
Snapchat.
nah,
Cap snatch. Chat snatch.
we
Chat
Snapchat
snatch.
about other things.
Ooh, hey, I see you. And Mama Westfall, if you're hearing this is PG. He's talking. They're snapping car pictures and stuff. That's what he's talking about.
No.
And muscles.
No, we're just
Yeah,
having regular conversations like normal people.
Yeah, this is 2021. There's no such thing as normal anymore. What is normal? Let's be honest. What the fuck is normal today?
It's a good question. I don't know the rules anymore, man.
I don't. Every single day or every other week, it's like, hey, this just in. The new
Yeah.
rules for today is.
You can't say this or you can't do that or
So, all right, Franny. We keep cutting him off. He's over here trying to tell
You
us
keep cutting
his
him off.
heartfelt story.
I get to each end of my story, and then things happen.
I mean, that's kind of how conversation goes, right? You kind of branch off.
If people don't hijack the conversation.
Then it's not a conversation; it's one-sided talk.
Oh, are you talking about me?
I would never.
Would you be talking
No, I
about
was talking
me?
about me telling the story. It's one-sided.
No, I was talking about him talking about me because obviously
no,
he
I-
talking about conversation hijacking and shit. He looked right at me like,
What? Because I was talking to you doesn't mean I was talking about you.
He was talking
so
at
who was hijacking the conversation. It was either me or you.
No, I ain't. No, there's are people out there that like to
Just either you or
hijack
you.
conversations. That's all I'm saying. So it's
Okay.
hard. You can't have a conversation if you have somebody always occupying the space in the conversation.
Oh, I got you.
That's all I'm trying to say.
Okay.
See over here making assumptions and shit.
Oh, okay. Well, you know I'm just messing with you. And Jackie, I'm just playing. I'm just messing with you. I don't mean nothing by it. We just goofing around. That's all. I just like to tease Westfall because he's like my little brother. So
Yeah, you definitely are the big one.
older, dad bod, yeah, whatever. Go ahead with your jokes.
Very literal.
I mean, one of our first episodes, he goes, my bigger partner
Yeah,
over here,
yeah.
like being a jerk. So
Well, that's what family does. We give each other shit.
absolutely. So let Jackie know I'm just messing around. I'm just playing, so she don't take it serious. I don't want to be known as an asshole or nothing like that. Because I really do care. I really do care. Sure, genuinely,
Anyway,
genuinely, not generally.
so, well, generally too.
Either way, I guess tomato.
So no, fast forwarding a little bit, right? So went through 9/11, and then you always thought the military guys were really cool. So did you have high hopes for your military career? Did you like want to do 20 years special forces, do all that high speed stuff, or?
I mean, obviously, when I was little, I thought it would be awesome to be like, Ranger Bat and all super hua with it. But life takes you in a different way. as you get
Absolutely.
older, So, like I said, I didn't join until I was 26. So obviously, I had other things going on. Until then,
What were you doing?
um,
If I'm not mistaken, you were law enforcement before, right?
with the Forest Service, I worked with the Forest Service. We enforced, all different types of federal laws for the force. Only national forest, not like parks or nothing like that. Just like 410,
Like for-
994.
Forest ranger
Yeah,
kind of
Forest
thing.
Service. Yeah.
So, was that like the wildfire kind of guys marking the trees and like endangered species kind of things, or I don't really know. Like I know those foresters are. I don't know.
We worked with like the front country. What we were called the front country. So we met with a lot of people, and then we would go to each trailhead of the I-90 and 410 corridor and kind of just make a presence known, and then talk to people. They'd have questions, we'd answer them. Then we go up. I was on a few different emergency medical calls where we have to hike up the trail. That's one of the first things I did with my wife. Is we had to run up the I think it was the Talipus or the Ira trailhead because somebody had fallen off a rock and broke their leg.
Damn,
They
shit.
couldn't get out.
So this is here in Washington.
Yeah, this is here in Washington.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
I only lived in DC for like 2 years because 9/11 happened, sniper incident. We're like, peace out. We're going
Okay.
back to our West Coast.
Gotcha.
Okay.
All right,
Yeah,
makes
yeah.
sense.
But I did that for a few years and I loved it and everything. But they weren't offering like full-time stuff unless you had like veterans preference or college, which I don't have college. So I was like, all right, I'm joining the military.
Yeah.
I guess this is like where my path in life is going. It's telling me I need to do this to do what I want to do.
So how long were you doing that job?
Let's say 2 years, almost 3.
Okay, and that's where you met your wife.
Yeah, that's where I met
Oh,
my wife.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So you met your wife, forced your service, and then pretty much weren't offered. So you're moving on to a bigger.
Right. Yeah, they're like,
Bigger, better
full
thing.
time if you have some veteran background. I'm like, okay. Well, I guess it's time to do that. Yeah, I'm not 32 yet, so let's do this.
And did that have anything to do with your choice of MOS in the military?
With the Forest Service, it's very physical. You're hiking, you're moving, you're backpacking, you're doing a lot more laborious stuff. So I didn't want to sit behind a computer. I did want to fly UAVs because I thought that would be awesome.
That would be really
But,
awesome.
the sales pitch, I guess, got me.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
And recruiters, man, I
Oh, man,
swear to
that
God, those
recruiter,
recruiters,
yeah,
bro.
yeah,
They
Scout, and I was
really
up for
someone's
it.
gonna call me in the middle of a. I don't know who the hell this is.
Decline that stuff.
Who gonna call in the middle of a broadcast?
Anyway,
Who
we're
does
sorry
that?
for the rude
It's
interruption.
okay. My feelings were only mildly hurt, but I'm alright now. I'm a quick healer.
Okay.
But, yeah, so like, I read the descriptions. I didn't just take the recruiter's word for it. I went and I did research on what scouts do, super scouts, but like active duty scouts definitely are, the guys that go set up OPs and watch over roads or do route recon and zone recon and stuff like that. And I was like,
Do they though? Do they really?
well,
Do they really? What's up, Jeremy? I see you, man. I see you.
they say they do, but
Yeah.
that's what like the parts of my unit that did go to Syria and whatnot, their primary part was watching the routes for the other units. Like my buddy was in a National Guard unit that was stationed in Iraq and Syria, and he ran back and forth. So actually, we did check the routes and whatnot.
Yeah.
Make sure they're still cool and stuff like that.
So pretty much, just like scouting out and then working with recon and stuff like that, and okay.
I mean, like I was hoofing it times on the deployment with the full rucksack, and I had a 240 and an M4. And I'm like, that's exactly what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Super hood, huh?
Oh man, I was ready.
I guess let me ask this, and as far as the National Guard is concerned, you guys ramp up for a deployment. Is this considered a combat tour, or because the way you were explaining it earlier seemed pretty cush? But I guess without giving out too much information in OPSEC, like what was you guys' primary mission? What were because I don't hear anything going on in Jordan. So
so what we were supposed to do is we were going to go train our allied units over there with the Jordanian military. So we'd go and teach them how to be scouts and how to use weapon systems, shoot, do maneuvers, stuff like that, which was awesome. It was actually a lot of fun doing that.
Yeah.
And we did that we only got through one cycle and began a second one. It was really neat, language barriers and meeting people from a different country, and they're just as fucked as we are.
I mean, it makes sense.
Messed up, just like we are. The jokes, the dialogue, and everything.
Yeah.
So did you do any cross military training where you train on some of their weapons? Because sometimes that happens when you're training with different.
So I mean, their weapons are ours.
Oh, okay.
I mean, we did have. I have a couple guys that did go and they shot with the special forces guys because. Not saying we're better with weapon systems, but we are.
No, let's be honest, man. We're the baddest military there is. There's no hands down.
And everything, and scars are cool, and my buddy.
If you know how to use it.
Yeah, exactly. And this dude, my friend, he has never shot a scar before, and he's sitting there, ping, ping, ping.
Yeah.
The Jordanian's like.
Yeah. Americans and their guns.
We shoot stuff, and we like it.
I think this just goes to show you, not just it's not the weapon system. It's the person. That's handling because I could rock with the M16 better than I can rock with the M4. And that was just because I had a musket for the longest time when I was in the military.
I'm surgical with that M4, man. So, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah, I mean, everybody has their strengths, right?
Yeah, I mean, now I can shoot an M4 perfectly. It was just I was just used to. So you gonna sit there and put me out there like that in front of the whole world?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, we are. And I will show you how much better I am than him at shooting.
Yeah, handguns, absolutely.
Handguns for sure, but especially longer range targets.
Oh yeah.
He's got
I don't know. You better be careful. He just got LASIK. He could probably shoot.
It might have been my eyesight.
I've had eagle eyes forever, so I'm good to you.
Robot eyes.
So, bitch, anyways, at close targets, yeah, he's got it because he's got the CCO pretty much. My scope is
penny, bro.
I'm trying to reach out and touch somebody without being seen. Which is definitely can it not be done with mine?
No, absolutely. It most certainly can. I'm just saying, if you look how combat has changed over the last 30 years, it went from long range to more urban warfare, more close quarters combat, which is why I prefer the
you see that?
reflective sight.
Jeremy right there. And he was my NCO for the longest time. Always the first time go at the range, baby.
Well, first time go doesn't mean anything. That just means you need to shoot 28.
Expert as well.
All right, let's be real here.
Fair enough.
All right, let's be.
Hey, expert though. Okay.
Okay.
You forgot to leave that part out. All right, fair enough. So yeah, we do got to get a range day though.
Yeah.
Get out there, but ammo's like fucking gold around here right now.
You got some gold. I see it right over there. I was trying
I'm gonna tell you right now, man. If you have ammo, that's like almost as good as Bitcoin and shit right now.
Facts.
Ammo. Shit, I was trying to invest in certain companies where they were like, nah, son, you ain't investing in that right now because it's a surge, man.
But
35 to 40, that's right, man. 35 to 40. But we always had to shoot in the shitty conditions in Fort Polk, so.
I mean, I'm sure that helps you out in the long run, though.
Oh, I mean, it definitely did. I'm not gonna lie. Being stationed in Fort Polk, compared to where, you have really nice ranges here on JBLM. Like Fort Polk ranges are like the low. It was like night and day. It's like I think there was like maybe one or two pop up like for the M16, M4 ranges, but everything else is paper. We did.
Just stood there.
Yeah, you ever done like the paper tables for qualification?
Oh yeah.
It's pretty shitty.
Yeah.
But that was like the main ranges we had in Fort Polk.
I got you.
And then like the longer range for the 240 and 50 cal stuff like that, of course. But and so we got to get really good at that with the paper stuff. And then when we would go out to the pop up targets and stuff like that in Fort Polk, we got a chance to do some like other. We always had what's called a contract range, so we do like other urban ops and stuff. So like Jeremy, who's really good at that, he would like show us different techniques that we would do. So like in between iterations of the qual table, we would go down the range and start doing some urban ops and stuff like that. So it was pretty dope.
I've only had one range like that, and that's when I was deployed, and it was just me and one NCO who was like my safety or whatever. And it was slick armor, nothing like that. It was just me, my rifle, him watching me. We set up 4 targets, and he would mark it 1, 2, XO, and he was like, "All right, you're shooting 1X." And then I had to bam, right, like transitional fire, and that was by far my most favorite range experience ever. And it was.
See, those are the ranges that actually stick with you because you're learning different techniques and stuff that you're that's more practical. Because let's be honest, like in what scenario are we really going to be shooting at 300 meter targets? At 300 meters, 250 meters, 150, like laying in the prone. It's just it's not as practical as far as I get why you have to qualify the way they do the tables and stuff. Yeah, it's really all paperwork, but like if the way I look at it, if I was going to qualify somebody on a weapon, I would definitely do the 0. Like you're grouping in 0, get you dialed in, and then go to the urban type 5. That's just my opinion because you're going to actually use that in combat if you needed to.
No, absolutely. I completely agree with that. You see, I understand zeroing. Obviously, you need to be on target with your weapon.
Yeah.
I do agree with how they do the basic rifle marksman qualification. Right?
I mean, in the beginning.
Because it's basics, right? So you do that to make sure that you're able to hit those targets, and then from there, I think people should, especially with units, because I've never been to a unit that did anything outside of the basic qualification, right? Outside,
really?
So I firmly believe that it's on the unit to get those, especially like the team leaders, squad leaders, like people that's actually going to be doing that stuff.
Even as an MP, you guys didn't do that kind of stuff?
No.
I would feel like you guys would have to be like...
We did glass houses and room clearing, but we never did any like live fire shoots, anything
I feel like
that.
Every time we went to the field, we was doing some kind of glass house or something. Yeah. Bro. Like we always did that.
In my opinion, I find glass houses extremely helpful, right? I love them.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But we never did anything as far as urban operations, doing that kind of stuff, actually shooting rounds, stuff like that. You know? Yeah, it was crazy.
Damn, man. I mean, but you were stationed here in JBL in Korea and stuff like that, and that was it, right?
Yeah, just here in Korea.
I think it all depends on what unit you're in, and then obviously like getting out to different posts and stuff like that because like I said earlier, it's like night and day coming from Fort Polk where we had to improvise because we didn't have much, so we improvised and made it work.
Yeah,
and I think that's where we got the best of our training. But then coming out here where we have in JBLN, you have every kind of training.
Yeah.
Available to you. Like you could have anything that you can think of is done. I mean, they got Ranger Bat, they got Special Forces here, they got the Cav, the Air Cav. They got everything here at JBLN. So it's like.
I think my particular unit was just messed up, and no disrespect to them. I just think they didn't know how to manage money because there were times when I got back from deployment that I was supposed to go up for like WLC, all that, but we didn't have money to send me, right? So I just think that our unit was particularly bad at managing those resources.
I mean, and you do see that a lot in the military. How's that like in the National Guard, man? Because I've only done active. Both of you have, like, you were active first and then went into the National Guard. You were all National Guard. So, like, what is that like as far as like your training? Because we all hear, weekend warrior. 2 weeks in the summertime, you guys are lazy as fuck, fat as fuck.
I wouldn't say
but
the majority of us were lazy. There were a lot of people that having a civilian job and a civilian life, you have something to look forward to. You're like, hey, here's my drill weekend, or here's my 2 weeks, and you're kind of excited for it. You kind of I want to say put a lot into it.
Yeah.
And there are the fair share that just do nothing but whine and complain the entire time you go through it.
Mhm.
It's like,
Did you guys do
why are
any
you here?
any joint training with active duty guys a lot or
No,
anything like that? Never.
No, not even.
You didn't either.
No,
Really?
man.
What the fuck?
That's not what you.
Is that something only I did? Like,
So like there does happen. I didn't do it, right? But I've heard stories of like past people in the unit. They would go down to Lewis and train with certain active duty units, but it never happened when I was in.
wow.
Well, I
That's-
guess
that's
so.
interesting.
Actually, oh no, because Mark, he was reserves, wasn't he?
He was active and then he went reserve.
Okay,
Yeah.
so when I went to California the year before the deployment, he was the reserve unit or whatever he was, if he was active. He was the one that was op 4 for my entire, Alpha troop.
Oh,
Nice.
really? Was that
That'd be so
down
much
in
fun.
was it
Cali and like
For Irwin.
for
Irwin? Oh God.
Yeah, the hell.
Oh my God, it's hell out there.
Yeah,
I fucking
I
hated it.
loved it out there,
My
man.
unit was the only
I really
one.
did.
You serious?
Yeah, I had so much fun when I was out there.
At NTC?
Yeah,
No
It was
way.
cool and everything. It's
Yeah.
just like,
Bro, I would much rather go through JRTC anyway.
I've never been to JRTC.
Fuck NTC, bro.
I loved NTC. I had
hated
so much fun.
Every moment I was there, I hated it.
You see, I love being out there in the field, doing field stuff,
No,
training,
don't
all
get me
all
wrong.
that stuff.
I love the field.
Yeah,
That's where you actually get to do your job, and
Mm-hmm.
you actually that's where you learn the strengths and weaknesses of your squad
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
and your section, your unit. That's where you get to apply your fundamentals. Because in garrison, you can pull weeds out of the grass and all that shit any day, motor pool maintenance. But when you're in the field, that's when you actually get to put it down. And
yeah.
but NTC, bruh, I feel like it's designed for you. This is my opinion. Okay, so Sidewinder, if you're watching, this is just my opinion. NTC is designed for you to fail,
Absolutely, that's the point.
but it's done to a point that, at least my experience, was so unrealistic that like you couldn't get proper training and fundamentals done.
Yeah,
because it was too unrealistic as
Which-
as far as like how they were doing things. You know what I mean? Like
Which I mean, if you think about it, you got to prepare for those unrealistic situations, like to an extent. To an extent,
I agree.
right?
I agree with, unpredictable.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with intense, and I agree with the op tempo being high.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with that. What I don't agree with is if you've already been killed, like in play,
Mm-hmm.
right? And you're in the holding area, and then Op 4 just comes up and starts shooting you up and says you're re-dead, like you're already dead, going through casualty affairs and shit like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or like
Yeah,
out of
that makes
nowhere,
sense.
like, hey,
I think
no,
you just had crappy all 4.
I think. Well, see, so here's what's funny. Not to hijack the conversation, but so when I
Such a
was there,
baby.
we my platoon. I was a platoon sergeant for a engineer platoon, horizontal construction engineers with combat engineers and some bridge crew members. So it was a diverse platoon that we had here at JBLM. I'm a platoon sergeant, and me and my platoon leader, out of our unit, because I was in a sapper unit. All right. For those of you who don't know, sapper's a bad motherfucker. So we had a sapper platoon, a route clearance platoon, and then the heavy platoon, where I was in the heavy platoon. We got detached from our company and placed with this National Guard company from Georgia. Okay. Now, this is my first experience working with National Guard as far as being active, where we did this shit all the time, especially here at JBL, and that's all we did was fucking train. So we go down, we get attached completely from our unit 2 days prior to going into the box. Okay? I have no idea what these strengths and weaknesses are of this unit. I have no idea who the commander is or the platoon that we're going to be attached to. Okay? So it's like my platoon was attached to this company. These guys were just horizontal construction engineers, so they had no like real combat guys with them at all. So their commander, his idea of taking, let's say, about 30 vehicle convoy in the desert with only 2 gun trucks, front and rear gun truck, right? Your security is going to be 1 gun truck for your entire OP and AO. 1 gun truck. Well, we have a meeting at somewhere, so we're going to take off and go to this meeting. Within an hour of him taking off, we have no security. The unit that we were supposedly our opposing force was a mechanized unit. Okay? So my question to the commander before he took off was, what are we supposed to do for security? His response, this is a National Guard captain, his response was, you guys have M4s, right?
That's
about right.
a smart man.
I said, what?
That's a smart man right there, man.
He said, you guys got M4s, right? I said, yeah. He said, no, that's your security. I said, against tanks and helicopters?
Yeah.
He said,
Did
yeah.
you
That's,
know those things
so,
take out anything?
kid you not, him going to this meeting that he didn't need to be at, him going to the meeting was
speaking to
more
the mic.
important than simulating and providing some sorts of security for his unit who's doing, their objective, whatever their objective was, which was us.
Mm-hmm.
So he takes off, and Op 4 comes up, and what do? They light us the fuck up.
Yeah.
They lit us the fuck. I mean, within the hour, they were watching. He took off in his gun truck to go to some fucking meeting to kiss. You know how these younger captains and lieutenants are. They like to kiss the colonel's ass to make themselves look good, right? And we see it all the time. And if you're listening, you know what the fuck I'm talking about with the younger officers. Not to say officers aren't important, but y'all know what I mean.
Those butter bars.
You know what I'm saying? So those newly promoted captains trying to make a name for themselves in front of the colonel. So he takes off to go show face at this meeting. We get lit the fuck up and moved. So you get lit up. All right, all you guys rendezvous over here to this location, and then in 2 days you got to move to the casualty affairs area. Check in, do your thing.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So he comes back. His unit's gone. He doesn't know where the fuck his unit is. So that's first mistake. He took both gun trucks with him, by the way.
Hey, but you got M4s.
Well, we had M4s.
That's
We
the
had
smart part.
M4s against tanks and helicopters.
Hey, man, that works, bro. Make it work.
We were actually.
Make it work.
You remember that year? You guys hearing about that helicopter, the actual helicopter that got shot by live rounds in the NTC a couple years ago? Yeah, that was during our rotation.
Oh, so that
So
was y'all.
yeah, so there's the two phases in the box. You have blanks. You do everything with blanks, and then you transition to live rounds. Well, I don't know how. It was on the Op 4 side, but they had one of our helicopters going over with a Black Hawk, and the Op 4 was shooting at him, and he had live rounds, and the ting 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 ting. Yeah, the helicopter landed, and he raised hell. Who the fuck? They ripped that unit up. So in the middle of the box, we had to freeze everything. Everybody take out all your rounds. Strip all your rounds and count. Make sure we didn't even have live rounds issued to us yet.
Yeah.
But everybody had to strip their rounds and
Yeah,
stuff.
that's a
So
big deal,
it was
Yeah.
it was interesting because somebody shit. There
know,
wasn't no
right?
accident, bro. First of
Yeah.
all, you cannot tell me you mistaked your live rounds for your blank rounds.
Yeah, that doesn't make
because
sense.
when you shoot your blanks, what do you have on the end of your weapon? A fucking BFA. And if you shoot a live round through a BFA, it's gonna fucking explode. I'm just saying. You can't tell me that it was a mistake.
You're right.
You're not gonna sit there and tell me it was a fucking mistake.
BFA off you to make a round impact, right?
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So, I'm just saying.
Yeah, I bet that guy had a bad day.
Oh yeah. That whole unit got fucked up.
I bet.
but-
and this is the National Guard unit?
Yeah.
Yeah, no wonder.
Nasty girls.
No wonder.
Yeah. So it's that's why I was getting at like with the experience of like how often are you guys really training, and like when you guys do train during the summer and stuff like that, like how serious is it taken? Because at one point you guys are just doing a 1 week in a month, 2 weeks during the summer kind of thing, and then you guys are starting to ramp up for a deployment. So like prior to that deployment, like were you guys still just doing your 1 week in a month, or did you guys get activated for like 3-4 months and prepare? Or like, how does it work?
What we did is we had pretty much like primo training and JBLM, so we stayed there, and then we did a bunch of like field training and everything, and then
How long was it? Like once a month, or
no, that was we lived on JBLM for like 3 weeks, so
Okay.
they thought 3 weeks of solid training where they were actually serious about it was good.
good enough to send you to a whole different country?
Well, then we went to Texas, and then we were there for, I want to say we were in Texas for about another 3 weeks where we did a lot of training, and they took that seriously. I mean, everything leading up to deploying. I mean, you looked at it like, you're like, all right, we're going to go grab some Humvees, because we were a mechanized unit, so we had a bunch of Humvees, so we were like, all right, how am I going to sleep in a Humvee this weekend? We did a bunch of like route recon, security stuff, so we just basically drove around JBLM, or we went up to YTC, and we would just drive around, and it wasn't taken super seriously. It was more like, oh, guys getting together and having a nice weekend.
Yeah.
But then once it started getting into pre-mob, it was, you could see the commander, by the way, was the first female infantry or combat arms captain. You know, she was
For National Guard?
for National Guard, and she had to prove some stuff. And so when she was getting picked for deployment, she definitely brought down a lot of brought the hammer down, I guess you could say, on everything.
Yeah.
And we had a similar incident where when we were training, there was live rounds found in the magazine, but they weren't shot. They were just
They were found.
They were found. Whether they, I don't know. Usually, when I put in my magazine of blanks that I just loaded, I don't go through and look and be like, "Oh, hey, there might be a live one in here." I'm shooting my blanks. I'm doing the thing. But you're aware of what you're putting into the magazine, unless they're preloaded. Then you don't know.
I've never been issued a preloaded magazine. I've always loaded my own shit.
When I was in Korea, when I came back from Korea, and when I was in the National Guard, when I was in the National Guard, we only shot once in the entire 3 years I was there.
And that was as an MP, or
No, I was medical logistics when I was in the National Guard.
Okay.
But when I was in Korea, we got handed preloaded mags all the time.
Really?
Yeah,
I mean,
because
somebody's loading them.
because the guys would go get the ammo, they would come back, and then they would start loading magazines, and so we would come up, grab our magazines, get rided onto the range, and then go to the range.
No. Okay, so that makes sense
yeah.
for range.
Yeah,
For range, I'm talking about like
Like blank training.
yeah, blanks
yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff like that. Because I never shot blanks at a range. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So like for a range, yeah, you have your ammo detail. They
Yeah.
load them up. Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, I mean, you said you've never, so
The way he was telling his story for actual training, as opposed to range, there's a huge difference there.
I'm just saying.
Well, so
There's a big difference
I was
there.
in 18 California one year, and it was actually during a huge fire. You know,
They said they can't right here. You're gonna have to speak up into the
a
mic.
huge
quick.
fire warning and everything. So like,
Is that better, Jackie?
we couldn't shoot live rounds. We actually were shooting the mobile range. We were shooting blank 240, and we were shooting blank M4. but
With
we're-
like the Miles gear.
No, we were shooting blanks at like the pop-up targets, and then like the TC of the truck would say whether you hit it or not. And it was
Oh,
fire
no,
range, and it was
no.
not good. Like you're not hitting nothing.
What's going on, man?
Looks like his mic got turned off. So.
It's not plugged in.
You unplugged. He unplugged his mic.
There it is.
Hey, everybody,
I'm
he
here now.
unplugged his mic.
I didn't unplug it.
He got
It was
nervous.
unplugged.
He got nervous. Can you hear him now, Jackie? Is that better? Let me know. Damn, that's sad. Over here telling a whole heartfelt story.
It's okay. You
And
kind of heard.
unplugged
You
your
kind of heard a little
microphone.
bit of it.
Good job.
Let me know if y'all can hear him better
Cut the
now.
wire now.
Hey, don't cut the shit ain't cheap, bro. Let me tell you right now. There we go. Thank you, Jackie. So, anyways, you were saying,
What part?
I don't remember.
Oh,
I got
well, shooting
distracted.
at
With
California.
blanks.
Yeah, so
And the
we're
TC
doing
was
actual, like mobilized, mechanized range. So we got like the 50s up, we got the 240 up, and then we had the Mark 19, which obviously we're not shooting explosives, and then we got the TCs hanging out the door with an M4.
Oh, nice.
So I mean, we had blanks, and so we're going through the range, and he's sitting there saying whether we hit the target or not because we
Yeah.
couldn't. If rounds hit, you could start a fire, and so
Yeah,
the whole
especially
range
out
was
there.
BS.
I mean,
I mean, we
you're
got
not- you
weapons
weren't using
manipulation.
tracers, were you? Or
No, we were using blanks.
so they didn't want you guys using any live rounds because they were afraid of
Yeah, I mean the 240 belts. Like what is it? Every fourth round is a
Every
tracer.
fifth round,
Every
yeah.
fifth round. So I mean that's how that was. But so instead of just taking tracers out, they're like, hey, guess what? You're shooting blanks today.
you can take out the fifth round and put it in there.
That's what that's what I'm saying. I mean, you coulda, but this is
Hey, that's too much work.
better. I mean, we burned down Yakima
so
one time.
I mean, Yakima burns down every year.
I know. So I
just-
wonder why.
The way I see how like invested we get as far as our pre-mob, as you would say,
Yeah.
pre-deployment training, how invested and how much time it takes for us to like pretty much a year out. That's all we're doing for a year prior to deployment.
Yeah, like 3 weeks.
So like, and that's what's crazy to me. You go from like your regular 1 week in a month. You guys are going to deploy and train, do a joint training mission with a national force, and you guys did pretty much 3 weeks of training, and then you guys were gone. That right there is kind of like.
Well, we weren't training like we were gonna go to combat. We were training like we were brushing up on our skills of what we knew, so we could pass it along to the next guy. Because I mean, it was considered a combat deployment because Jordan's in the middle of like Iran and Syria, so it was classified as a combat deployment. It wasn't, but I mean, like, all we did was pass along our knowledge to the others. You know,
Yeah, I mean, I only got a week more training to deploy than you did.
yes.
When I first got to my unit.
When you were active?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, so I got to my unit in November. We went on block leave. Got in November. No, I graduated basic in November. I got to my unit in December. We had NTC in January, block leave in February, and then I deployed in March.
Yeah. So what I'm talking about isn't just the like the going to the box type NTC, YTC, or JRTC training. I'm talking about all the pre-stuff.
Yeah,
like going to the field leading up to it
yeah.
for the deployment. You
I,
guys didn't do that
well, they
regularly?
did that. I just didn't get there for that.
I mean, we do it like 2 days a week,
Yeah.
or 2 days a month. We kind of brush
and
up on
you
some
guys would
stuff.
go, working on your SSDs and stuff. I've been.
And then it was all the paperwork and all that stuff, and
Man,
yeah.
it's so crazy to me how like it's both the Army. It's just the way it's ran is so different. But I guess how do you I guess that'd be harder to manage a deployable unit that you only get to see once a month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, just
You know what I mean? Like that's got to be difficult.
Just managing a National Guard unit as far as PT standards is hard as crap.
Oh,
You know,
the 90%
like-
failures every month.
Yeah, like in our unit,
Right. That alone.
In our unit, I think it was the battalion sergeant major and the commander was making making such a big deal about PT tests. So it's like we only got these guys are only showing up 2 days out of the week,
And they don't do anything to
or 2 days
structure
out of the
it.
month, and then they don't follow any sort of diet plan during the week.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like so hard. I mean, just imagine that 10 times over with leading up to a deployment.
I think one things I noticed with Jose, because you guys were in the same unit, right?
Yeah, well, we were, and then he went to Bravo. Like I said, he went to Bahrain when I went to Jordan.
Okay.
So he was close by, but like we deployed together. But then his unit skirped out to Bahrain.
He was telling me that like even when like he got back here throughout the week, they were harping on fitness and stuff throughout the week so much. Like the commander they had to do like some fitness app or something like that and track every day that they were doing PT.
Wow. Yeah.
And shit like that. And I was like, wow, that's kind of cool, I think, as far as a readiness standpoint. But like, you don't see that kind of stuff from a National Guard unit typically, do you?
No, not
not
at
my
all.
experience.
Not at
reserve
all.
unit or something like that. But
Not
you were
my
saying
experience.
something like the commander said, all right, this week you guys have to do X amount of PT plus this ruck, and then on this app, everybody has to download this app, and it's going to track that you're doing it, like Map My Run or whatever it is.
Yeah.
to show, so you can't be bullshitting it. I mean, it's technology, but like you know what I
Yeah,
mean.
so-
I mean, you got GPS trackers in them, so I mean, it can track you if you set it up right.
The unit I was attached to never did anything like that, but they got to a point where it's like, hey, these guys are coming in on these days. They're doing PT on these days. So we would have to
Right.
show up, do PT, go, shower, change, whatever, and then come back to work.
See, we didn't even have that.
Yeah.
It was all on you for the rest of that month. And like I said, it was 90% fail rating for a little while there because it's on you, which means nobody else is gonna be there to make sure you're doing it or like motivate you or nothing. It's literally, hey, I have to have the drive to get myself to the gym. Now, like with my unit, I think it would have been very beneficial if like the team leaders, the squad leaders, or even like the platoon sergeant was like, hey, give me your updates for the month. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
Maybe it would
where
put a
you're
little bit more pressure or like some kind of standard to it because then they come back and they get harped on for it.
But they don't care.
No,
Because
not
I
really.
know at the end of the day,
I'm going home. I'm gonna go do whatever I want.
I got my real job over
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
so-
See, my unit, I never got a text from any.
Yeah, no, mine definitely not, man.
Outside of those, time I was assigned to the unit, supposed to come in.
What's interesting to me is that when you get activated, you're treated pretty much just straight active duty,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, it was
Unless you
like
guys
that.
are are there. You guys check in, and you guys are all right. From this point to this point, you guys are active now.
Yeah.
So then you guys start to get the. Does your mindset change? Like, all right, no, we're the real army now, or like, do you guys still pretty much just fuck around and act as if you're national?
I mean, I can't speak for everybody, but I know mine. I was just, I knew what we were going to and whatnot, and it was just like we're not going into combat or anything like that. We're going in to go train another country, so it's still like I understood I was activated, and it's going to be this is my life now. It was really easy to transition into. I'm good at adapting to stuff, and this wasn't hard to deal with. It was just, it was just like another job that took you away from home. You know what I mean?
Just the distance and time kind of thing.
Yeah, it was like hard missing the family and everything, but like everything dealing with the job, it was like, all right, I'm doing this every day now. 95, cool.
But it wasn't like the stress of. It wasn't as much of the stress like a pure combat deployment.
No, I wouldn't think so. I mean, like when we had the first, obviously it wasn't brought to us that we're all going to Syria in a nice way. Like, hey, we're gonna go just do some route recon. It's like we're gonna go shoot at a T-72. We're gonna do what? So it gave everybody a little bit of anxiety thinking that we're gonna go launch a javelin at a T-72.
Yeah,
we're like, wait a minute.
With no like real.
We got Humvees and like some ammo and like.
See, I mean, and that's what's crazy to me because, like, when you go to Afghanistan, especially like now, at least from the time I was there, from 2010 up and through now, you're not going to see a Humvee used by by our military at all.
Right? No, I saw what they're getting now. Like
you're using MATVs and Max Pros, MRAPs, like Buffalo. Yeah, you're not going to see a Humvee. You'll see Humvees, but they'll be on the fob.
It'll be
doesn't leave the fob.
It'll be the Humvee I saw go through B60 today.
Yeah.
And it had Boeing on the side of it.
Like it's like well, that's crazy, man. That you guys are rolling around in Humvees and stuff. Not to say that they're a utility vehicle, but we all know how Humvees are.
Going back to like the funding and whatnot, like so we would pick our Humvees up from Puyallup Armory, and then we'd drive to Yakima, and like 30 to 40% of the Humvees can't even make it to Yakima. So, and then of course we're pushing the repairs before we're taking our Humvees to another country where, we got Deco and they're going to work on our stuff. But like, man, oh man, did our stuff break a lot. And then we see new units come with some nice stuff.
Vehicles from here to Jordan.
We took our busted ass vehicles down to Jordan.
Man,
I feel so bad for you, man.
Oh, dude,
crazy.
No AC, like trucks literally broke down, overheated, or were completely out of commission.
No way.
Oh, bro.
Every time we did a field cycle, we would have at least 2 to 3 vehicles break down, and that's just going from here to Lewis or to Yakima.
Yeah.
Like it was ridiculous.
Bro, we couldn't make it out of our motor pool most days.
I'm saying some people didn't go to YTC sometimes.
Like, every time we would go to Yakima, especially because you have to go on chalks.
Yeah.
And we would always be in either the first chalk, like ahead of the rest of the company, or the last. And I kid you not. Every single time, as soon as we get outside the motor pool, we make it maybe a mile down the road.
Yep.
We gotta stop.
We wouldn't even make it to off 167 sometimes, and our trucks would come down. But yeah, we did not have the best vehicles whatsoever.
Those of you that are out there, if you hear military grade, please ask a vet.
I learned that real quick.
Yeah.
If you hear that term military grade, ask a vet first. I promise you, they'll change your mind.
I remember one specific incident when I was active duty. Right, we was driving a vehicle out from the motor pool down to like a training area. I think it was for like a range or something out Eastgate of Fort Lewis, and we got
about a C-17 mock-up or C-5 mock-up.
Yeah. So we was driving. We made it maybe 5 minutes out of the motor pool, and the vehicle died. we had a mechanic with us. He started looking at it. He's like, "All right, I know what your problem is." We're like, what's wrong with it?
It's fucked.
I get this. He's like, "You're out of fuel."
The fuel gauge wasn't working.
What? How does that happen, man? He's like, I don't know, but take these 2 canisters, go get some fuel. It's like, oh, come on.
See, I didn't check the fuel.
I don't know what happened,
but
it was hilarious.
Well, you get Article 15 for running out of fuel, right?
I did not know that. That didn't happen to me.
Yeah, it's a huge deal.
Yeah, but
a huge fucking deal.
we ran out of fuel. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen.
I've definitely been in a convoy that happened to.
Your team leader, your squad leader, your platoon sergeant, the driver, everybody failed on that one.
It was hilarious, man.
Wow. Wow, that's funny. You know, I can tell you numerous stories about flawed vehicles in the military just because of how shitty our maintenance system is. Not to talk shit about our mechanics or nothing like that, but they're given a pretty rough time, man. Like, we look at like the units, your combat units and stuff like that, and that's the forefront, right? Those are your guys. That's who you think about. That's where the money goes. But then, like, you got to think about the units that are the guys that are like keeping that shit rolling. The mechanics, the cooks, the supply, and all them, right? Who get overlooked a lot of the time because it's more laid back job. But especially the mechanics, that's just tough, man. Like, they're given shitty parts on shitty vehicles, and they have to work pretty much 24/7 to get this. Just pretty much just putting band-aids on shit.
Yeah.
And then they get hit by the commander. I don't get why it's not done yet. Well, we're waiting on parts to come in or whatever, because there's a checklist and a system for the system before you can even get one fucking part put on.
Or, like, we ordered this part for this NSN that's supposed to be here, but it's not this one
It's not this one.
because the numbers were switched by 2, right?
Yep.
So we gotta order this one.
You gotta
send
order it
that one
again.
back.
Now you gotta wait a whole another month.
Yeah.
We're leaving in 3 days.
I don't know. I can't pull this stuff out my
Exactly.
ass.
I don't know how many times I've been able to look, man. We can't pull a part out my ass. I don't know what you want to do. I can take it off that busted truck over there, but no, we need the commander's, have his signature to
cannibalize a vehicle.
Yeah, it's like, look, man, we got this one vehicle that's completely fucked. It ain't going anywhere anytime soon, but it's got a part I need.
Yeah, this vehicle hadn't even been out of the motor pool in 6 years, man. What do you mean I can't have that part?
It's the first time it started.
I left, went to a new duty station, came back, and this shit's still parked in the same spot.
Same spot. Yeah.
I've seen that, man.
Yeah.
Like, and it's like, yo.
Fix my shit.
Get this, bro. I got out in 2018, right? 2018, I launched a bridge in the motor pool. It was a Reb. It's a piece of shit. The worst fucking bridge design I've ever seen in the military. So we launched this bridge, right? And it breaks. It's a piece of shit. So it always broke. And I was there with the civilian contractors and the German guys. They flew in to diagnose these problems and help fix it. In our motor pool, this was in 2018. I went to JBLM last month with my kids and drove around, just kind of showed them our motor pool where we work. That truck and that bridge is in the same spot. Has not been touched, bro.
Nice.
I couldn't believe it. This is going on 3 years, man.
Goddamn.
Sounds about right.
Years. I drove
Sounds
by there and
about
I was
right.
like, there's no way. There's no way. And I looked at it. I was like, this is it. The truck still has my fucking name on it, bro.
Nice.
I've been out of the Army for 3 years. It still got my name on it, man. I
Nice.
couldn't believe it, bro. I couldn't believe it. This shit's still sitting there flopped out and broken, bro.
No, man. Gotta love the military, right?
Yeah. And,
Oh, yeah.
It's just, it's funny to me how it's like, dang, this is, the best of the best. We have all this money for, and I'm going to say it again, y'all. I got to say it. We got all this money for transgender research in all these other countries, but we can't even get our military funding to
properly
get
equipped and have what they
If I
need.
do remember correctly, I'm pretty sure the defense budget was supposed to be cut.
Yeah, how does that make you feel, Franny?
So that 3 weeks that you got, that's not going to be 2 weeks.
Hey, you get to deploy.
Oh, yeah.
2 weeks, though.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
do it. I will be ready, right?
So last question, right? So you did the 4 years. What made you want to get out instead of staying in and making a career out of it? Because this was what you wanted to do when you was a child, right?
Yeah, in all honesty, like, it was just I had awesome people in my unit, but as a first experience, as far as like the command team went and everything, it was, I don't have anything to relate it to because this is all, like I said, my first unit, but it was something that as a grown man, I didn't want to have to deal with, being treated the way I was treated. And, like, I had a great platoon sergeant. I made some really awesome friends there, but as far as like
Talk about that. How, like, the camaraderie.
like I got like just the other day I started this new gym and I'm in there and I run into my old my old team leader, squad leader, Sergeant White, and it was really great to see him. He was happy to see me. I was happy to see him. We had a great time when we were deployed. Like, we got to be pretty good friends. I got a friend that moved to Idaho right after the deployment and like still talk to him, and like I got some good friends out of it, and that's what I think I really got the most out of it. other than, you know, the experience of deploying and being in the service.
The bond, one
Yeah, you know, like I don't have any brothers, but now I feel like I have quite a few, you know,
Absolutely.
and that's the biggest takeaway is what I got. But as far as leaving was, you know, I didn't want to have to deal with what I had to deal with, and then you get out, and now I'm dealing with apparently I'm owing money for gear I was never issued. Right?
course,
You ever hear that?
Right.
We've all been there.
Right, so
We've
so
all been there,
I
right?
turned in all my stuff that was issued to me by the unit. I left it all in one spot. I'm in the National Guard, right? I'm 2 days out of a month, or sorry, 3 days out of a month, 2 weeks out of a year. It's pretty much sitting in the same spot. I took all the stuff, checked it all off the list, and I knew what it was because it was all ACU. Because I got issued stuff that was outdated. And then I have this list of OCP stuff, right? And I'm like, I don't have any of that. Like, it's not that I lost it or got rid of it. It's I literally
wasn't
never got
issued.
that. But my name's on it, right? And so now they're trying to
that's-
come at me for some stuff.
Bro, that is the long story of the military they've been doing since the beginning, bro. You get issued things out of nowhere. Somehow just is on your clothing record. It's like, wait a minute, that wasn't on there before.
No,
I was
no.
never issued this. I don't remember getting this. You know,
But I kept my original. We kept my original clothing record, and now it's got like there's this chunk at the top of stuff that I have never touched that is on there that they're trying to say that I owe them money for,
no.
and they're trying to have me like sign a statement of, you know,
statement of charges.
yeah,
all that.
yeah, and I'm like, no, I'm
Yeah,
not. I'm
see.
sorry. Like I ain't signing nothing. I
Man,
didn't take.
I
didn't
wish I
touch.
could say that wasn't normal, but that's just normal.
I know.
That's like-
Yeah,
they get
that's all I've
everybody
heard,
this
man.
shit.
They never got me with that. Maybe I just didn't pay attention to it, but I never noticed.
You didn't walk
anything.
away and be like, "Oh, hey, here's an extra $1,000 for my service."
Mm.
Yeah, no, that's what they're trying to do. And I'm
Yeah.
like,
They're trying to get every penny they can too.
I
man.
mean, they are cutting the defense budget. What do you expect?
so now they're trying to
They
take
gotta
it
get that
back.
money somehow.
I would like to believe that they ain't gonna take it from the servicemen and women. But
No, but that's
we know
exactly
the
who they're gonna
reality.
take it from.
But we know the reality.
Yeah.
We know. I mean, I'm not gonna get into politics, but
That's
you
the-
know what I'm talking
Facts.
about.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
We're gonna get into that later.
So, all right. Let me ask you this, which is, I've been really thinking about this. So, why National Guard? Why not? Especially for somebody who you said like you've always thought about the military, even from a younger age. Why National Guard? Why not active duty?
Well, I did. I went and tried to do active duty. I really tried to go do active duty. I was going through all the processes, but I have you can't even really see it. You know, the cuts and shit I got all over my hands, psoriasis and eczema and stuff. That was like a huge disqualification.
Really?
They were like, no. But I'm talking to this recruiter, active duty recruiter. He's like, yeah, man, you can't have it, psoriasis. I'm like, dude, I can have it, you know, under wraps, and I can take care of it. Maybe I made the mistake of being honest about it,
Yeah.
which I did. And I'm talking to the recruiter, and he's like, yeah, that's an immediate disqualifier. I'm looking at his hands, and they're dry as shit. I'm like, yeah, see, I mean, you're here, and your hands like that. And he's like, oh, I didn't say I had psoriasis, but I do. And I'm like, all right, so you're gonna
And by
deny
that
me?
point- by that
You
point, it
got
was already
that?
Too late.
Yeah, he's in there. He's a recruiter now, and I'm like,
So-
all right.
So, you joined. What year did you join again?
2016 is when
2016 is when you joined. Got out last year.
I got out
Yeah,
2020.
Okay. So 2016. So that's what it is. The war wasn't at its like high point, so they probably weren't issuing as much waivers and stuff like that. And it's like, hey, look, man, you're not qualified. Because when I joined, it was in 2009. The war was still pretty hot, and they were just issuing waivers for.
Oh, I bet.
everything, right?
Oh, I bet.
Like I had waivers coming in from like past criminal issues and.
Yeah, they didn't like the active duty guys. Definitely didn't like my DUI.
Yeah,
They didn't like that.
yeah,
National
especially-
Guard was like, oh, whatever.
Especially that in 2016 as opposed to like 2009, it's like completely different standards.
Yeah, well, you know, when you need bodies for wars.
Right, exactly. Right now,
That's
it's just
exactly what it
like,
was.
nah.
It's kind of like with the bonuses. They were handing out bonuses like candy when the war was hot.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't get no bonus. I'll tell you
needed
what.
Bodies.
Yeah,
And then as the war starts to die down,
like nah.
you know, it's
Back
like,
that
all right,
funding.
Hey, look, man, like we're full. We're full. We'll put you on the list.
You want to be a Camp Scout?
We'll put you on the waiting list.
I know you just signed
Yeah.
a 2-year contract, and for that contract we gave you $20,000, but for this 2-year contract, we ain't giving you nothing, man.
But if you want to sign up for 8 years real quick,
We'll give you 5.
I'll give you 2.3.
We'll give you 2. We'll give you 2.
It's like, bro,
What? After taxes, I'm gonna get.
yeah.
I'm gonna get like 300. What are you talking about?
So I enlisted once and then I re-enlisted twice. I never got a bonus.
Yeah.
Ever.
I
They were-
Never got a bonus.
They were trying to rope me in at the end of mine that they're like, all right, hey, if you sign for another 4 years, we'll give you 20 grand. I
for the guard.
Yeah, while I was overseas. Yeah, okay, well, so
Shit, didn't overseas.
no.
But tax free.
So I have some other people that did do that, and then there was the huge explosion of because you're supposed to do overseas, it's supposed to be tax free, like you just said. Guess what? It was not tax free. They took $7 grand out of their bonus, and they all got 13 grand. And the reason they signed up was for the 20 grand to help them in whatever their
that's
life
the foul
was.
shit, bro.
Yeah, and
That's
it's supposed to be tax free, and they straight took it, and they went to try and fight
I
it.
should have went to legal, bro.
One did, and then there were some words that made it justified. I don't know what happened, but they all got
cut.
Yeah, might have been it.
So
Sorry.
Yeah. So
Ain't
when
that
I was
about a
ending
bitch?
my National Guard career, they was trying to get me to do the same thing, 8 grand for or 8 years for like 15 grand, something like that. And
Yeah.
I was like, nah,
I'm cool.
good. I'm good.
I mean, if you factor out like 20 grand over 4 to 6 years, and like your net worth of your own being for that being 20 grand, that's like 5 grand a month, or excuse me, 5 grand a year. If it's 4 years, and it's like, dude, I could go home and like get a stateside civilian job, and I could make
Shit, work on
a
the
lot
wheel,
more than
overtime,
that.
we get-
Yeah.
Easy, you know.
Yeah, and it's like, where do you really put your own value at that point?
And then factor in whether or not you're working during the weekend. During this, like I work weekends, so when I was in the National Guard, my paychecks for my actual job was less,
Right.
Because I had to
Right.
take time off work to go do my
Right.
service, and then like I wouldn't get that money until 2 weeks later for the service, and so it was like
Big hole in your pocket right there.
Exactly,
Yeah.
it was like it wasn't worth it.
It would be great if you worked like a 9 to 5 Monday through Friday.
Yeah, and then Friday
Yeah,
you go
yeah,
off and go
that-
play Army.
Yeah, that was fine, but like with the way my job schedule was set up, the week after my service, I would have to work like 14 days straight, 12 days straight, just to make up for the 2 days that I missed.
Oh hell.
Yeah, and then
You
that's
know.
not worth it on your own well-being.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So to me, it just wasn't worth it. But
Fuck that.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, no.
I couldn't do it, man. I felt like if I was gonna go, actually, I'm lying. When I was younger, I was 17. I was thinking about joining the military. I tried to join the National Guard, and the motherfucker never called me back. I kept trying to go test and
Guards.
stuff,
yeah,
and
yeah.
never called me back.
Sounds
Never
about
called
right.
me back. And then I went to talk to the Marines before. No, it was like right after I turned 18. Before I graduated, I went and talked to Marines, and they were like, "Yeah, we're gonna pick your job for you. You test out, we're gonna pick your job." And I was like,
Infantry.
"This is 2009." I'm like, "Nah, I'm cool,
Infantry,
bro.
bro.
I'm not a body
I literally
bag.
walked out. I was like, "Nah, I'm cool." And then I was like, I'm probably, and I was kind of, this. I think this is the beginning when I realized I had depression and shit because I was like, "The fuck am I gonna do? I'm not going to college. I'm working at this, Baskin Robbins, super duper
Making
ice
that
cream
good money.
scooper.
Woo!
making
That sugar money.
$7.15 an hour.
Hey.
I'm
Yeah.
like, what the fuck am I? I can't work at fucking Baskin Robbins the rest of my life. Then I end up losing that job and going to work at this restaurant downtown where I made decent money. But
Yeah.
I was like, this is not going anywhere. Like, I'm
Yeah,
just
I
gonna
mean-
go here, make my money, go home, go here, make my money, party, go home. That's the restaurant life. Right, nothing against that.
And look at you now, just doing great things.
You are.
Oh, man.
You're the face of a company.
Shut up. We're not. Don't even start because I am not the face of the company. I hate y'all. Man.
At least the face of that site.
I hate you guys. Don't even. I hate that job. I'm just there because I care about y'all. But
So if we leave, you leave,
Right.
huh?
So if we leave,
I got bills too. So
I mean,
That's okay.
let's not forget I got bills and kids.
I mean, we got bills.
you ain't got.
He's
kids.
got a dog.
You got kids.
He's got
You
kids.
ain't
I got bills.
You ain't got shit.
So together we're like you.
Yeah.
Together, motherfucker. Hold on. Now, you
Our powers combined and all.
gonna pay my child support?
I mean,
No, but
I told you I help
another
out.
job could. Another job could.
You're not wrong. Thing is,
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Words.
so-
Words.
I have applied. I'll be honest, and this is probably gonna get out, and this is gonna hurt Gary's feelings, but
Yeah,
whatever.
we got it.
I've applied for 32 different jobs. 32.
Over
But
the
nobody
course
can
of-
blame
I got
you for
called
everything.
back. I got called back for 2. One of which I have to have an active TS, which I don't have right now. And the other one, even though I have all of the other skills and qualifications and time in management and things like that, I don't have a degree. So, sorry, bud.
So, what were we sitting at that time?
Hour 24. We good.
Okay.
We good. Our last one went 2 hours, man.
Yeah, I know. I just I wanted to.
Move on.
No. I wanted to separate the broadcast between this conversation and the headlines and
So
stuff.
2 different broadcasts.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That way, it's not all looped into one.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So.
Okay. Well, everybody, my better half over here, my partner Lucas, says that he wants to go ahead and cut this feed. So,
And just for everybody
Game over.
wondering out there, when he says better half, we're not together. All right. Yeah, let's get some clarification. All right, we're just really good friends.
he's like my little brother.
All right.
For those of y'all,
Wait
who
till the
don't know.
camera turns
So
off.
stop sending us weird messages.
Yeah, I don't do that gay shit. Nothing against gay people. I love y'all.
All right.
It's just not for him. It's not his flavor.
Yeah,
It's
just
just not my
clarification going on there.
Shoelaces.
Anyways, so yeah.
right.
Wait, hang on, real quick. Godzilla whooped Kong's ass.
No, the fuck.
Yes.
Hold the
And
fuck
we're
on.
going to
No,
lead
he
off
didn't.
with the next broadcast with
No,
that
the fuck he
topic.
didn't. Y'all better stop. So, hey, if you guys would like tune in here,
We're going to put a poll. For everybody that watched Godzilla and Kong,
all I'm
we're
gonna
going to
say,
put a poll.
all I'm gonna say is what Kong said, man. It's a radioactive dinosaur shooting shit out of his fucking mouth.
And he still throws hands.
Godzilla wasn't able to fucking stand up next to Kong because Kong was using them hands. All I
Godzilla
got to say
bitch slapped
is what-
Kong,
what
and he
Kong-
went falling over
Hey,
the boat.
Quite a few times
Kong
with
hit
that.
that elbow and knocked his ass out. What did Kong say? Godzilla's a whole ass.
No, what
bitch.
did Kong say? I'm gonna take a nap.
Yeah. Kong
Hey,
needed
look,
that resuscitation.
I love you. We're gonna tune
Till
in
next time, guys.
on today's work. Again, shout out to my buddy Ryan here.
Yes, thank you for coming on.
See, like, share, subscribe.
All that
All
good
in
stuff.
today's work. We love you guys.
Don't forget, all our stuff's on for the podcast is all out there wherever you can find podcasts. Just search us up, find us. Share our stuff.
That's
We
right.
appreciate
We're
it.
Definitely on Spotify. I was listening to ourselves talk the other day.
That's how you know this dude's a narcissist. I hear himself talk. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. All right, guys. Thank you.
Take care, guys.
Godzilla 2024.